Hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming News with your boy True, aka Big AA Ron, aka True Lyrics, aka the host of the new channel We the Addicts. So without further ado, let's talk some news. But first and foremost, if you are into gaming, Let's Plays, and what else do I do? Gaming news, game reviews. I haven't done one yet, but I'm getting there. I'm still learning. Give a dude a break. Anything in the fitness field, if you like lifting weights, if you're new and thinking about joining a gym, I can also help you there. Please consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you can be notified when all of my new videos drop. And again, I started a new channel. It is dedicated to bridging the gap between people on maintenance meds and struggling with opioid dependency and 12-step recovery. So check out We Are the Addicts. I have only done one video there so far, but I plan on doing a live stream every weekend. Haven't really chose a time yet, but look for those on the new channel, We the Addicts. And without further ado, let's get into the news. First story I would like to talk about today is Xbox boss Phil Spencer. Success doesn't mean pulling Sony down. Now this story is coming to us via Gaming Bolt, and the link will be in the description if you guys want to check out the article yourself. But while console wars might be a thing that the gaming community takes for granted, as far as those actually in the business are concerned, that's far from the truth. Microsoft and Sony, for instance, are in direct competition with each other and have been for over a decade now, which is a pretty damn long time. But it's not like one of them cannot survive in the market while the other is still around. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox and the gaming division at Microsoft, recently spoke in an interview with Fortune and candidly went over this very topic. While speaking of his work with Sony, Google, Nintendo, and others which are deemed Microsoft competitors in the market, Spencer sees gaming as a growing business and doesn't feel like the way to success is for any entity in the industry by pulling down its competitors. I would say, and I quote, "I would say that most of the competitive side of it, no," said Spencer, when asked if the perception of his competition in general audiences affects the way Microsoft approaches its decisions. "I am always listening to the community, but the people who want to see others fail in order for the green team to succeed, that's not me. There were people when the Sony deal was announced, I couldn't see it online. What are you going to do to help them out?" And I quote again, and it's like we've had years and years of relationships with Sony. Sony shipped PCs and they had Windows on them. They use our development tools to build games. This idea that the only way for any of us to succeed is by pulling down someone else just isn't the way that the industry works today. It just isn't. Spencer was also quick to point out that thanks to them owning Mahjong and in turn Minecraft, Microsoft are one of PlayStation's biggest third-party publishers. We're one of the biggest, and I quote again, "We're one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation," he said. "We ship Minecraft there. We had great business on Sony's PlayStation and Nintendo Switch." It's great to see Spencer continuing to encourage a more open approach to thriving in the industry, even though the likes of Sony and Google do remain Microsoft's competitors. With the likes of the PlayStation 5 and Stadia coming up, you can see the full interview below, but we're not going to watch that right now. And it says that there's a lot of interesting stuff. So moving forward from what I get here, and I didn't catch the story, well, I did briefly on PlayStation and Microsoft teaming up for the streaming service part of everything that's coming with the next gen consoles, but I guess that's where it's headed. Now, I've said it in my past news video, me personally, the streaming thing is cool. Being able to download a game right off the internet is awesome, but I am an old school gamer. I have been playing video games since the Commodore 64, which, if I'm not mistaken, was out before or right around the time that the Atari was out. So for me to be able to go purchase the physical media, it means a lot to me. I like the whole process. If I need to save up for a game, go get it, crack it open, smell the cover, just like I used to do with actual CDs, because yes, I do not look it, but I am an old head. That whole process means a lot to me, so I'm excited to see where the streaming and downloadable stuff is going, but honestly, I am an old school gamer, and I like to go buy that disc, so we'll see what's going on, and that's my opinion on the matter. And let's dive into the next story. And for those of you who don't know, I am pretty much, well, I am exclusively a PlayStation 4 gamer for now. Can't afford an Xbox, can't really afford to go just buy myself all the systems I would like to try out and play on, but I do have the amazing Dell G7 sitting in front of me, so I do have access to a gaming laptop at least, and there are some cool looking PC games that I'd like to play. So I will get there in the future, and probably will be streaming them for the first time, me playing a game on PC. Anyway, so this is another Sony related story. Sony warns PlayStation will cost more if Chinese tariffs continue. Sony has warned that the PlayStation console will become more expensive if the Trump administration goes ahead with higher tariffs on more Chinese export. The Wall Street Journal reports. The Trump administration, which raised tariffs from 10% to 25% on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods this past May, is now threatening to expand tariffs to an additional $300 billion of Chinese exports, which would include video game consoles, which, if the PlayStation console that's coming out is any more than I'm already expecting it's going to be, I will be highly upset, because I'm already not going to be able to afford it. So in preparation for the potential expansion of tariffs, Sony says it is now considering its options, including passing the cost of production onto its consumers, which will suck ass. The Wall Street Journal paints the price increase as a necessary step if tariffs continue, though one Sony exec clarified that nothing has been decided yet, and I quote, "We believe and therefore have told the U.S. government that higher tariffs would ultimately damage the U.S. economy," Sony's financial chief Hiroki Totoki said today. Sony has teamed up with Microsoft and Nintendo last month to issue a statement to the U.S. Trade Representative Office against the proposed tariffs. The letter states that the tariffs would significantly disrupt their business, but that ultimately American consumers and small businesses like video game makers would take the biggest hit. The 7-page letter estimated that consumers would have about $840 million in costs shifted directly to them, and 200,000 American jobs would be at risk. So I guess this makes me, at this time, not a big fan of Trump. In preparation for the potential tariffs, console makers have begun confronting whether to take their manufacturing business out of China. Last month, Nintendo started moving production of its new Switch models from China to Southeast Asia. However, neither Sony nor Microsoft, which recently refuted reports on the company taking Xbox production out of China, have made any moves yet. They haven't made any moves yet. So it was reported today that Sony hit the 100 million mark in PlayStation 4 sales. Awesome, PlayStation. making it the fastest home game console to reach that milestone. But with Sony gearing up to release the PS5 in 2020, sales of the 6-year-old PS4 have slowed down. The PlayStation 5 has been described as a niche product with serious specs, which could set its price pretty high when it goes on sale. If Trump's proposed tariffs go through, it could be even more expensive. So as far as politics go, I really don't follow them. I can appreciate the fact that Trump is willing to shake things up. That's always awesome to see change, whether good or bad. It's different from the normal presidents that I've seen over my lifetime. So that I can appreciate. Not saying I'm a supporter. I don't really follow politics, although I should. But if the price of the PlayStation goes up, I will be highly upset. And into the next story. Okay, and the next story we are going to dive into is on the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare MP, whatever MP is. Now, I am not at all knowledgeable about Call of Duty. It is a game that I haven't played yet, which I know. You're a gamer, but you haven't played any Call of Duties? No, I haven't. I'm really not into the first-person shooter genre, but I'm looking to get into it, so that's why I found this story sort of interesting. So here we go, and this story is courtesy of Game Zone. So everything you need to know about Call of Duty Modern Warfare MP. For the last 2 months, we've been hearing about the campaign of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We got a brief taste of a new 2v2 mode a couple of weeks ago. But now we have all the details on the full multiplayer mode, To kick off the reveal, Infinity Ward dropped a new trailer showcasing some of the highlights, and again, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out. Warfare with Metallica's Enter Sandman laid over it. We see a lot of different things such as guns, kill streaks, mechanics like door stacking and breaching, night vision, and the return of the glorious nuke. This is a very familiar kind of Call of Duty, going back to the pace of Call of Duty 4. It's still got a snappy pace, but a bit more restrained compared to the speed of the last few Call of Duty games due to the advanced movement and 3-lane maps. Our studio goal, I quote, for Modern Warfare has been created to a completely new experience and the most varied, customizable, and realistic feeling Call of Duty multiplayer, said Geoff Smith, multiplayer game director, Infinity Ward. And I state, our design goal is for gamers to have fun by playing again and again with their friends, where the action will feel fresh, but also familiar for players every time they jump in. Infinity Ward has bluntly said that Modern Warfare will not feature many, if any, 3-lane maps. Part of this comes from the fact that the MP director on this title is the person who created many maps for the first 2 games in the Modern Warfare series. The team felt that there was a focus on run and gun, but not allowing many other play styles. The new maps will allow for run and gun amongst other kinds of play styles. An interesting example given included the new mechanics surrounding doors. Many doors within the maps are interactable, meaning you can burst through them, breach them, stack up with teammates, and more. In search and destroy, an objective may be behind a door where the opposing team is guarding it. You could have some teammates stack up on the door, have a sniper positioned in the distance, breach the door, and have the sniper pick off the guys right in front of the door, and then clear the rest of the room up close, which sounds pretty damn fun. Another dynamic map element include the ability to turn the lights off and on in maps. This can be used to get the drop on enemies in either scenario. If everyone has their goggles on, you can turn on the lights to blow out their night vision and blind them briefly. Maps also have to adapt in a very, very big way. As already stated, Call of Duty Modern Warfare features a 2v2 mode, which features very small maps. You also have a 6v6, 10v10, and 20v20, which is 2 vs 2, 10 vs 10. I get it now. I am a dummy. A ground war matches with over 100 players. Keep in mind, it's not Battle Royale. It seems to be ground war as we know it, with objectives, kill streaks, but also a ton of players. This will be the first Call of Duty since Call of Duty 3 that has a traditional MP mode, multiplayer mode. Such an idiot. With more than 18 players. There are a number of new modes in Call of Duty. There is a number of new modes in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as well as one which is more hardcore TDM mode called Realism. It puts you on night variant maps exclusively, removes your HUD, and adds a very tense and tactical gameplay scenarios. Every time you ADS, whatever that means. I am such an idiot. I call myself a gamer, but it's okay. It's just the news. It'll display a laser off of your gun which can be seen with the night vision. That means that not only you can see it, but enemies can as well. Everything is stripped, including hit markers, experience point displays, and it's a very realistic feeling mode, as the name suggests. Players are also going to have a lot of different options with their weapons, both in the menu and in the field. The new gunsmithing customization system allows for a ton of attachments, up to 40. Obviously not all equipped at once. And to add to the perks of your weapon, you can add special ammo, switches to be able to change fire rates on the fly, and much more. You can make you can make all kinds of variants, such as sniper shotguns, an M4 with a pistol grip, and other very wild guns. Seems pretty awesome. With all the options available. Charlie Intel noted that there's no AK-47U, but there's an AK-47 that can be customized to create the 74U. I'm sorry, AK-74U, not 47. Little dyslexic. It's a very versatile arsenal of weaponry. Finally, Infinity Ward announced the beta for Call of Duty Modern Warfare is coming in September. On September 12th and 13th, people who pre-ordered and play on PlayStation 4 will get early access on the beta. On September 14th to 16th, it will open up to everyone on PlayStation 4. After that, it will begin to expand to other platforms and allow for cross-play. You can view those dates below. And it says here, September 19th to 20th, early access on PC, Xbox One, and open beta, PlayStation 4. September 21st to 23rd, open beta, PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Call of Duty Modern Warfare will release on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on October 25th, 2019. Infinity Ward announced a special edition today, which comes with a real functioning pair of night vision goggles. Now that would have to be awfully expensive. Now, I know I stumbled a little bit on this story. As I said before we started, I am not familiar at all with Call of Duty. I've seen the commercials time and time again throughout the years. The game looks awesome, but I just can't or couldn't until recently get into the first-person shooter genre. I have attempted to try Apex Legends, and I know it's a lot more unrealistic and cartoonish and amateur, we'll say, compared to a game like this, or so I would think. But I am starting to get the hang of things, so look for some Modern Warfare streams coming from your boy, True MasterSon. And with that being said, let's get into the next story. And last, but definitely not least, boobies and babies on Twitch. Twitch says breastfeeding is okay on streams. After taking down a clip of a streamer breastfeeding, Twitch says it does not violate the site's terms of service. And this story comes to us courtesy of Polygon. Link will be in the description. Following a decision by Twitch officials to remove clips of streamers Heather Kent breastfeeding her child, the company has subsequently confirmed that breastfeeding on stream isn't a violation of the site's terms of service. It's cool with me. I mean, it's natural. It happens. The baby's getting much better nutrition than if it was being bottle fed. I honestly don't see the big deal. The safety ops team responded to reports of adult nudity. A message to Kent said, and I quote, "In this case, there was a brief moment under question, so the clip was removed. At the time, it was a difficult position for a safety ops administration person to be put in during a review of an incident that has not previously occurred on Twitch." So, this lady, Kent is her last name, Heather, I do believe. Heather Kent is a groundbreaking streamer breastfeeding for the first time on Twitch. The message continued after further decision between partnerships, safety ops, and trustee and safety. There is an alignment between all teams that breastfeeding is not and will not be against the terms of service. Yay for Twitch to be forward thinking. Well, actually, forward thinking in recession type thing, because I mean, this should be just a given. I mean, I don't see the big deal. I don't think anybody else should be offended by it, just as long as it's like done with class and poise. You know what I mean? What's the big deal? The original issue arose when a clip of Kent was posted to the live stream fell subreddit, gathering negative attention from forum users. Twitch removed the clip later that day, according to a report on Kotaku. From there, Kent posted the clip on Twitter, nothing that society has a long way to go in the fight to normalize breastfeeding. Kent hosts ASMR painting and just hanging out streams on her Twitch channel under the name Heathered Effect, where she has more than 16,000 followers. So it's pretty awesome, in my opinion, that Twitch didn't consider that to be a breach of the terms of service. I mean, quite honestly, I've said it 2 or 3 times now, it's natural. As long as it's done with class and they're not just sitting there like topless with a baby on each breast, or even that wouldn't be that bad. I mean, honestly, what's the big deal? I mean, shame on those people on that subreddit that had a problem with it, gaining her negative attention. Honestly, what's the big deal? And that's the news for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I brought you some value in bringing you some news stories that I perused the internet to find and found some interest in. I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you like gaming news and like to stay current on what's hot and happening in the gaming industry. If you like to watch some Let's Plays, which I know some people don't really get into them, but I know when I was young and me and my friends would hang out, we would sit there for hours going life for life, watching one another play, and I do it. It's cool. I like to sit and watch people play games. Sometimes I get insight, whatever. Or if you're into game reviews and anything really all around related to the gaming industry, subscribe to my channel. If you're looking to get into the gym and maybe need somewhere to start, a little bit of advice, I do some fitness stuff as well, but I may be slimming back the channel soon and dropping the fitness stuff off because I started another channel. It is called We the Addicts. It is, as I said at the beginning of the video, dedicated to To put a long story real short, and I'll get into more on the channel about why I'm doing it, which I already have a little bit, it is to bridge the gap between people on maintenance meds and 12-step recovery, because there is such a stigma for people on maintenance meds. So, with that being said, like and subscribe. Until the next time, my people, my family, my folks, and my friends, over and out.